How's it going, everyone? Welcome to Update 6.0. We got a replay fresh off the press here from Pigman 202 on Khorne up against RTK's Hepidors on Warriors of Chaos. Now, for Khorne, I'm going to pause this real quick because we're going to get right into the action real quick. We have Skull Taker, the brand new Lord. He is alright from what I've seen him used. He's a duelist character with pretty solid stats. 120 armor. It's a lot. 7357. Fantastic stats with some bonus for his infantry and his weapon strength as well, which he has a lot of weapon strength. Mostly AP. Very heavily AP based duelist. And good at clearing infantry, which I have used him for against just AI, of course, but I haven't actually used him against in PvP. But he is very good at clearing infantry, very elite infantry. He also has a bunch of buffs for himself and for his allies. We got Locus of Fury as well, which grants allies a whole bunch of weapon strength increases plus the charge bonus, which is really nice. You could run him with for that charge bonus. You could probably run him with some Soul Crushers or other cav as well, and that could help out a lot with clearing through infantry and whatnot. We also have Bloody Onslaught, a debuff for melee defense and armor, which is really nice. I think that's probably the must keep for him whenever I'd bring him. And Slayer Sword, which is also incredible, imbues that weakened effect, which is new, reduces somebody's weapon strength, weapon damage, both base and AP. Honestly, it's not incredible. I like it, but it's not a game changer. It'll just help him win duels if he ever gets himself into a duel, which is gonna be hard to whenever he's such a small duelist. Duelists always have that issue where they just get body blocked. They get surrounded and circle beaten or blocked off from any of the important crucial parts of the army. I just said three words: important, crucial. Two words that basically mean the same thing. Anyways, yeah, that's the main problem. But I think it's okay. It helps him win duels. I probably wouldn't bring it a majority of the time unless I'm really expecting that there's gonna be a possibility where I can catch something out. But it makes him into an absolute beefcake in melee. So it lasts for 22 seconds, and yeah, good stuff. Revel and Slaughter as well. Passive gives 8 leadership and 8 melee attack, which is really nice. Definitely a must take. And Cloak of Skulls, which is his special item, gives him 25 armor and 20% missile resist, plus immune to flanking. Now, this is definitely a mistake for me. And 40 kills is so easy to get for him compared to like the other abilities in this game, which requires so many kills, or like requires such a high requirement in terms of entities being around the person, etc. 40 kills is nothing. You'll get that so fast. But yeah, speaking of that, does he have the brass collar? I don't think he... Is it the collar? Yeah, I don't think he has it. No, I'm thinking of Silica. Excuse me. Silica here, speaking of that, Silica has the brass collar of Khorne, which grants up to 20% ward save and 15% extra spell resist, already on top of his base 35%. So, but that requires him to get up to 100 kills. Now, if he gets up to 50 kills, that gets him 10% ward save, which is already pretty decent, You're still paying 200 for this, but 200 for 10% extra ward save and 7 or so spell resistance if you only get 50 kills with them, not bad. It does take him a while to get that amount of kills, but with his little explosion here, Kill for Khorne, it'll get him there much faster than normal without it, because it does a lot of damage, kills quite a few models, especially depending on what you're putting it into. And also, they're just they're a decent fighter, excuse me. 62 with 30 melee defense, that's my problem there. So they're going to take a lot of damage depending on what kind of infantry you put them into, or whatever your engagement you put them into. They can take a lot of damage very quickly because they're a big, monstrous hero. They also have 50 armor as well. So some to protect themselves, but not a whole lot. But yeah, massive weapon strength, which like you'd expect off of like Chaos Spawn, etc. Those type of creatures. Just monstrous infantry, which don't necessarily have a lot of AP, or rather don't necessarily rely on their AP to punch through stuff, and are better just like clearing chaff or helping support engagements like half fights. But yeah, a pretty good item there. 200 expensive, but definitely worth it in my opinion. Serpentine tail as well, which I think I remember it's in the campaign for Daniel, but I don't know where else it is. I think it may be on a like a Demon Prince Lord. But either way, it's just a Mortis engine in melee, does 10 to 20 damage per second. It's all right. And then yeah, Khorne, which is a really nice ability, has 66% AP, which is incredible. I'm seriously when I'm saying it does a lot of damage, it does a lot of damage. And it's magical as well, of course. Plus, it rampages everything. This thing is insane. This is so good. Silica, whatever their name is, Cycla is super expensive. Not super expensive, 2,000. With all their items, or like 2,100 with all their items. I can't recall, but you could easily cut like that Serpentine tail, and without the Serpentine tail, they're 1,800. So that's affordable, especially when you're bringing something like that, which is just insane. Rampages is so good in this game. But yeah, as you can see, you saw that shotgun burst from that RoR Hellforged Bellowers Skull Cannon RoR. It's incredible. I haven't had the chance to use it, but hopefully I can soon, because it's really good from what I've seen, and people have started to hate it very quickly. Also has a nice dark black color scheme. It's pretty good. But yeah, just some better stats overall, and then that shotgun blast is just so incredibly good. I don't recall the original having Hellraiser. This ability, passive ability, which is engaged in a melee, provides like a vortex, passive ability vortex, which is 4 damage per second, which is really good. Wow. But also, for the rest of the main core of the army, we're going to have Marauders. Get to the main stuff. We have 3 Skull Crushers, which apparently are pretty good now are good now compared with the splash damage changes. They benefited a lot from it, while other monsters, infantry, and cav have suffered from it. So we'll see how they do. For the Warriors of Chaos side, we do have Archaon the Ever-Chosen with Slayer of Kings, of course, Burning Head, Spirit Leech, all his good stuff, plus his Crown of Domination for that, ITP, and Leadership. A whole bunch of Marauders for the front line, and then some Chaos Warriors and Halberds in the back line. We have some chariot changes as well, so we'll see how they do. We have the Sibilant Slaughtercade. They were already good, as it was. For a chariot, I mean. But yeah, people have reported good success with them from what I've heard. So, before the patch. So, imagine they could do even better now. But yeah, some Marauder Horsemen as well for some Skirmishing, and Chaos Knights on both flanks. And that'll be it. We get that shotgun blast going in there, hitting the Halberds and a bit of the Sibilant Slaughtercade. Not too bad. Spirit Leech going down on Skull Taker. You're going to slowly start whittling him down. He does have 35% spell resistance, of course, with him being Khornate. But it'll take him a while to actually die to him, or for it to matter all that much. But we have the Marauder Horsemen going over, throwing their axes at the Skull Crushers. That's exactly kind of what their target, what they want to be. And then they immediately all get rampaged by Silica there. So that's very, very bad for the Warriors of Chaos player, because one already routing, the other two starting to take tremendous amounts of damage. You have a Burning Head going down onto this Marauder of Khorne, going to rip through them. But actually, it's going to turn and twist and unfortunately not benefit the Warriors of Chaos player too much. Yeah, this whole engagement here is turning out really bad there for the Warriors of Chaos there, but those skirmish units will come back. Do have the Knights of the Brazen Throne running through those freaking Marauders, just absolutely decimating them, and then terrifying them. Then going into the Chaos Warriors and Halberds, who weren't braced, to be fair, but still taking tremendous amounts of damage. I wonder how they'll do if they stay in combat, but they're going to push through and try to get on top of the Marauder Horsemen, which are afflicted by the Bloody Onslaught, reducing their melee defense and armor. We do have those Chaos Knights getting on top of the Hellforged Bellowers, but it does have 52 speed, lowered by poison and by it being tired, which you can now see thanks to the unit card changes from CA, which is pretty nice. But yeah, they slow down a little bit, so the Chaos Knights won't be able to catch up to it a lot faster, a lot easier. But they're still going to get shots off like it just did into those Marauders, which is quite unfortunate. Chaos Knights are trying their best, though, but as you can see, very, very tough to try to catch that thing. But eventually they will, most likely. But meanwhile, a nasty shotgun blast into the side of those Chaos Warriors and then into the Marauders as well. I love that thing, but I feel for the Warriors of Chaos side. Skull Crushers running around, trying to find a perfect spot, trying to dodge a lot of these throwing axes because a lot of those axes and those javelins are going to hurt quite a bit if they can find some decent opportunities to throw them into the Skull Crushers. Silica slowly being reduced by that Spirit Leech while also fighting Archaon. I think definitely the Skull Taker would like to be in engagement, but the issue is that he's now taking quite a bit of damage from the Chaos Warriors and Halberds. That's probably why I prefer him off the mount, because he doesn't have that much mass to get out of a situation like this on that mount. So he's struggling quite a bit to actually provide some help when Silica definitely needs it. But also at the same time, Silica shouldn't be in this engagement in the first place because they don't have... Archaon's a much better duelist, but in return, but it doesn't mean they won't do damage. But yes, we do have the Skull Crushers coming to support. So luckily, even though Soul Taker did end up taking too long to support, Skull Crushers were there to pick up his dirty work. We had to have the Sylvan Slaughtercade running through a bit of those Marauders, doing, you know, okay, a little bit of a charge there. Mostly just going to hit them with leadership penalty from taking damage. Skull Taker is wavering, might end up going into banishment. We'll see banishment status. We'll see there. Skull Crusher still fighting along with those Chaos Knights, and will eventually win that fight most likely. But the Forest is reducing some of their stats there, as you can see here by the terrain -7, and then very tired as well. Actually, that's the Chaos Knights, but you guys get what I'm saying. But they still have this Bone versus Large. It's not going away, so it'll definitely still help them in that engagement. They both are very beat up. Another shot going straight into those halberds. That is brutal. And also hitting the horseman as well. Archaon going to attempt to hunt down that Hellforged Bellower, which might be a good choice there. He does have those magical attacks and heavy AP, so he might be the better choice instead of the Chaos Knights to be chasing down the Hellforged Bellowers. Get him to stop shooting. And also Spirit Legion it maybe as well. It does have that spell resistance, but still much probably a better target than the... than going after like the Skull Taker. Silica I can understand though. Silica does go down, however, does perish and go back to the Khorne realms. Skull Taker running away as he is banished as well. A nice Hellforged Bellower shot going into Archaon, but also doing some damage into the friendly Skull Crushers. So now it is going to be up to the Hellforged Bellowers and the Skull Crushers left, as Skull Taker does die, does go back to Khorne. He's going to be very, very pissed. But yeah, Hellforged Bellowers, oh my god, another brutal shot here. So deadly in that late game, especially considering how much ammo it has, and it's constantly replenishing while in melee. It's going to be tough to bring this thing down. 35-29, better stats than this base variant, I believe. And oh my god, another nasty shot into those halberds. This is so tough for them. But yeah, Skull Crushers going to be finishing off those Chaos Knights. But will they finish them off before the halberds get there? I'm not sure. They will not. So the halberds will be able to surround them, sandwich those Skull Crushers, but the Chaos Knights do run away, so they no longer have that sandwich. And now the Chaos Warriors actually do get rampage, rather than get rampage, do rout from like a bit of that knockback from the Skull Crusher damage. Wow, that was, I don't know what happened there, but those guys just immediately routed after like one hit. That's tough. But yes, we do have the halberds, some halberds still up and about. What about the rest of the battlefield? We still have 2 halberds wavering, and the Sylvan Slaughtercade. Archaon probably perished. I think he perished from the damage from the... yes, he did perish. I think either due to the Skull Crushers or the Hellforged Bellowers. I apologize for missing that, but it'll be on screen, of course. We have the Marauder Horsemen throwing their javelins in, but Hellforged Bellowers does, of course, have a pretty high armor at a base 110, losing some things to exhausted. So, but I definitely think this is gonna be a pretty tight, really close game if the Hellforged Bellowers isn't able to get shut down, and it seems to be just running through everything. Whereas the Chaos player is trying their best to surround and shut this thing down, but I mean, as you can see, the Marauder Horsemen are just not doing any damage to it. It's healing in melee, and it's also replenishing his ammo. Oh, and then the Sylvan Slaughtercade takes a massive shot there. And then we have some Skull Crushers coming back with 15 models still left, 1400 HP. They're just going to run down those halberds with those collision attacks. Then dip out and then run over the other halberds. I definitely, yeah, this is the Khorne win here, and My God, I could definitely understand the frustration with the Hellforge Bellowers, because look at it just rolling 30 through all of the Warriors of Chaos stuff, and even with that final shot there, just nuking those halberds and the Sylvan Slaughtercade. My God, that was dirty. Skull Taker, what did he amount to? Not much, 300 value there, not surprised there. Again, if I were to take him, I'm probably just going to take him on foot just to slowly grind down elite infantry, or throw him in with some elite infantry just as he grinds stuff down. But otherwise, I definitely think the Preacher, I think they're called, or the War Chanter, something like that, is a much better option. But obviously, Skull Taker is freaking awesome. He's bad. He's very stylish. He's very badass. He's got some of the sickest fit in the entire game. So you know, you gotta rep him every once in a while. He is the Skull Taker. So, and he's just a really, durable lord. Of course, as long as he's not getting dragged down by halberds. But we also have Silica, 1556 value. Doesn't pay for themselves, but they did put a beat down on Archaon with obviously support from Skull Crushers. If they didn't have Skull Crushers aboard, it would have been mostly a one-sided battle. Oh, as we saw, I mean, Archaon was doing pretty good work into them. So, and again, they're not primarily AP based. They're not meant to be an AP duelist of any sorts like Skull Taker is. So, if anybody should have been fighting Archaon, it should have been Skull Taker. But nonetheless, Silica did all right. Definitely looking forward to seeing them played more. I'm definitely looking forward to trying them out myself. But we also have that, Hellforge Bellowers just pretty much carrying this entire army with the Skull Crushers on their back. Like, Skull Taker and Silica might as well have been there. The Skull Crushers and the Hellforge Bellowers just did everything for them. Skull Taker's gonna get a freaking rimming from Khorne once he gets back home. He's just gonna be put into a corner and let sit and marinate as he in his own tears after putting up such a poor display. But luckily, the Hellforge Bellowers were able to, make Khorne proud with 19 freaking 80 value. That is absolutely insane. I mean, that shotgun blast is nuts, and it seems very hard to take down as well. So I completely understand some of the frustrations with it, but obviously we got to give it some time for these things to marinate. But really, the problem here was, I mean, these Skull Crushers. Because, I mean, as you see, 2,000 value is pretty good. Obviously, it's pretty insane. But the regular Skull Cannons, they were good already. This is just, like, 3 times better, 4 times better. So, I mean, if someone even say 5 times better. Because I've gotten a lot of values with Skull Cannons before. They're just one of my favorite units on the Khorne rosters. So. But yeah, the Skull Crushers, they benefited so much from that collision attack change on them. Definitely look into that. Tequila Sunset has a video on that. I'll post it in the description. I don't think he includes the Skull Crushers in it. I'll have to check. But I believe not, because I only watched like a good portion of the video, about 70%. I didn't see the Skull Crushers. I saw the Warbear Riders, which got trumped on. Definitely don't take the Bear Riders anytime soon, because they got absolutely butchered in this update. So just be careful what units you bring nowadays. Don't expect some of these monstrous infantry or monstrous cav to be doing as good as they were before, because right now they just took a major hit. Incidentally, of course, I think on CA's part. But yeah, 3584 on the Skull Crush. They just did so much freaking work there. As you guys saw, they're just so good now because of that. And I kind of almost hope that they stay this way, because that's how the Skull Crushers should have been. They're just so freaking elite that they seriously should be putting in a lot of work when you're bringing them onto the battlefield. Maybe not as much work. It's up to debate, because it's hard to compare them whenever everything else is broken. I mean, like all the other monsters, cav, heavy elite cav are broken, so you can't just like 1v mash them up together and see which one's better. But still, 1241 on the Knights of the Brazen Throne, and 1495 in the other Skull Crushers. Yeah, just running through Marauders. They shouldn't be doing that to Halberd, that first of all. So, I mean, there's some examples where the Halberds weren't braced, so there's argument for that. But still, I believe on occasions I saw that the Skull Crushers just didn't care about braced and just knocked them all back with collision attacks, dipped out, and then did it again to something else. But yeah, the Sylvan Solarcade, that's it for the Khorne side. Sylvan Solarcade, how do they do? Obviously, not that many great choices. Not a lot of infantry from the Khorne side, mostly just Marauders. So you can't expect too much from them in that case. 2698 on Archaon. You know, he may be the ever chosen, but has he ever heard of the Hellforged Belarus? Or has he ever heard of the Knights of the Brazen Throne? I don't think so. Clearly not. He didn't prepare for everything. Halberds did fine. This one did incredible. This is probably the one that ripped apart Skull Reaper, just dragging him down from that mount of his. Yeah, just 35-24. That's the most value I've seen on a Halberd unit, especially on a Chaos Warrior Halberd unit, in quite a while. They did incredible there. I didn't even notice that these Chaos Knights were of Nurgle, but not that it mattered too much. Yeah, 700 value on the both of them. They kind of held their own for a bit, but when you're up against anti-large cav like Skull Crushers, which should be winning against Warriors of Chaos, or rather Chaos Knights, they're going to lose. The throwing axes were fine there. They got Rampage initially, which sucked, so they lost quite a bit of models and a lot of damage output. But that is the one nice benefit from that Silica explosion effect with bringing them. Is you can get a nice engagement like that, and now your opponent has much less damage output from their very much needed damage output with their skirmishing units. But yeah, good game. I'm actually looking forward to seeing more Khorne stuff. So if you got some Khorne stuff, send them my way or post them in Human Voice Discord, whichever. I really want to see more. So I'll catch you guys next time with another one. I'm looking forward to whatever else you guys pull out. See you later. Bye bye.